Hey guys, this is Cindy over at Paper Old and New. How are you doing? I am here to bring you another. I haven't done one in a little while, I think. So I'm here to bring you another 12 by 12 using 12 by 12 paper video. Now, this is kind of a go big or go home in that kind of a spirit. So this isn't just going to be using a 12 by 12 piece of paper. This is going to be using a 12 by 12 pad. Now, I will say this. It's to make a journal, like a journal kit. Um, the individual templates that I have here, which were inspired by Natasha at Treasure Books and E over at Scrapbooking with Me, are things that you can use on an individual sheet of paper. So, and I'll be showing you those templates in here to create the kit. Okay, so I have two here. I didn't figure you wanted to watch me fold pages, but I do want to show you these packs. Hold on just a second. So, paper pads, right? We get these paper pads. You set them to the side. You pull a sheet out here. You pull a sheet out there. There may be 2 or 3 sheets missing, and you've still got this whole paper pad. And you've got boxes of them, or stacks of them, or they're hiding in corners, Lord only knows where. That's what happened. I mean, I have these, as you'll recognize this from sunflower stuff. I used paper out of this one for a little bit of the sunflower journals. I used some paper out of here when I was doing my other journal, the Mickey journal. So that's the only 2 journals I've really completed. Okay, so what I did though, both of these paper pads are from Recollections from Michaels. They each have 16 designs. That includes a cut apart design. I pulled those out and set them aside. That leaves you with 15 designs, and so you get 15 pages. Okay, I took one of each design, I folded it up to make pockets, and I clipped the middle to remove bulk on every one of these. So I have 15 journal pages. Okay, ready to go. Now this is single-sided cardstock. I put these in an order that I thought I might like them in a journal. Now, something to note would be that more than likely you could do a 3 signature journal with this and use 5 pieces of cardstock, 5 pieces of cardstock, and 5 pieces of cardstock, and then add other kinds of book pages in there to beef up your signatures. You could split it into 2, 8, and 7, however you wanted to do it, but this gives you 15 pages out of this sheet to do this. And I admit to folding these 3 1/4 tall, so my page is 8 3/4 tall. Okay, to fit in a 9-inch journal. Okay, now, having said all of that, I think that's a long enough introduction and getting absolutely nothing done. We're going to set this set aside, and I'm going to set these pages aside, and we're going to go in here. I have 3 templates. We're going to start with this template I got from Natasha over at Treasure Books. She did this as take one piece of scrapbook paper and make a little bundle that you could give away as a gift. So I am slightly modifying her template. I'm using the same cuts, but I am slightly modifying the idea behind what you use the pieces for. So let's get one out. Let's just go ahead and start with this piece. Like I said, there's no rhyme or reason to this. And with 15, if I have 15 design pages and I have 3 templates, then I can make tons of ephemera for this kit. And obviously, if you don't want to use the whole pad, you don't have to. My thought behind it would be to make ephemera take one of each design for your pages, take one of each design for ephemera, and then put the rest in your stash to use for later use. And then you've used 2/3 of a pad. So not a whole pad, but most of a pad. All right, let's get started. So for Natasha's template, the first cut we're going to make, I'm going to actually turn this sideways. The first cut we're going to make, we're going to cut at the 5.5 mark, assuming I can find my ruler, which I buried. Okay, so 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5. Helps if you pull the safety cover off the blade. Okay, so now I've got a 5.5 inch strip and a 6.5 inch strip. All right, for the 5.5 inch strip, we're going to cut at the 8.5 inch mark. So we'll have an 8.5 inch piece and we'll have a 3.5 inch piece. And, you know, as I was looking at my accumulation of, you know, paper pads and stuff, I was noticing, I mean, we have all said it in the past. It's not like it's news or anything like that, but we've all said it in the past. These paper pads are made so that the papers in them coordinate. So, the first little bit of inspiration for this idea to take a paper pad and make an entire kit out of it, a couple of people inspired me to do this. I first got started on the idea when I watched 9.5. I watched Pink Odd Bird. I'm going to link her video in this one. I watched Pink Odd Bird pre-make signatures. So she pulled papers and she made signatures to set aside, ready to go into different journals, right? So that was the first place that I got information from. I mean, inspiration from. Information too, but... All right, now let's go through these pieces. So this piece is 8.5 by 5.5. In Natasha's kit that she made, this was folded in half and used as a journal cover. Actually, I think she scored it, made a spine, and then turned it into a journal cover. My thought was, since we're using this in a journal kit and not as a little pack, you could either make this into... I could either cut it in half and make 2 large cards, or 2 journaling cards, or 2 tags out of it. Or I can fold it in half like she did. This is what I think I'm going to do for this one. I'm going to fold it in half. Well, if I can get my corners to line up, I'm going to fold it in half. Fold it in half. One of my bone folders has gone missing. I'm a little upset. Okay. Now you can do one of 2 things with this. You can either make it a pocket card, or you can make it a pocket tag. Let's do a tag, just for the heck of it. So I'm going to cut my corners off of this, just like I would a tag. Back and front, folded, I'm cutting the corners off. Right? Works much better if you can line your card up straight. If you're going to use one of these little card template things. Okay. So there's my little tag. And what I would now do with this to make the... I almost think that those should be bigger, but this is going to be a pocket. So there's a piece of me that also doesn't want them bigger, because this will allow for more space as far as a pocket is concerned. So what we're going to do is we're going to put glue. I don't know if I want to glue the angles or the back angle or not. We're going to put glue top and bottom. The only reason I say that because if you stuck a card in here and the corner of it stuck out, I think that might be kind of cute. So this is one of the modifications to Natasha's kit. So instead of making a small journal out of it, I've made a tag pocket out of it. So we have a pocket here. Get one of these old playing cards. Okay, so you've got a pocket in here. And you could notch it. I mean, obviously it's up to you. So that's one piece from this piece of paper. The next thing you have is you have this little 3.5 inch wide piece that came off the other end of this. And what she did with that was folded it in half and made a mini journal. What we're going to do is just make it a tag. So this is a good tag size. It's 3.5 inches wide and it's 5.5 inches tall. So it's a nice tag size. You could also round the corners and just make it a journal card. So you go ahead and cut those. And you've got a tag and a pocket tag. All right, now, this one, I probably should have left that one a card because this one, I like the tall ones as tags, but you know what I'm going to do instead? I need to get my corner rounder out. I'm going to do small corner clips on this. This is the piece that came off of the bottom where we cut I don't know if you can see that. Down here at the bottom we cut it 9.5 inches. It left us a 2.5 inch tall piece. So I've made a bookmark or a tall card or whatever you want to go. In Natasha's kit, this was a bookmark sleeve, and she cut it here, mounted it on something, and made a bookmark to stick in it. So it was like a pocket. All right, now, last but not least, we have the 9.5 inch piece. Now, my thought for this, and again, this is entirely up to you. You could cut this you could make another tall piece and then 2 tags or cards here. Or you could do some folding and make it a little flip out journaling spot. So what we're going to do is I'm going to score it. I didn't mark my scores. Okay, so I was going to score it at 2.5. And then 2.5. And 6. Okay. Now, obviously, you can make this more narrow if you don't want it that wide, because basically what you're going to do is you're going to fold this over, and then you're going to fold this over, and it's going to make a little fold out, right? And then you can put a little closure on here or however you want to do that. Now, what I'm going to end up having to do, because no, it's not actually. I was going to say it's interfering with its fold, but it's not. My scores just need burnishing. Okay. So then you have this little, now you could wrap a piece of scrap around that. You could, one of my thoughts, if the paper's not directional, is you can open this up and have it flip down for journaling space. So there's all kinds of things you could do with that. So that would be the modification to Natasha's piece, which for her piece, this 9.5 got folded in half. A piece got cut out of it, and it was a pouch. So you could still make it a pouch, and maybe for the next set we will. Okay, so that's one piece of scrapbook paper, and we've made a few pieces of ephemera for our apple orchard journal set. Let's get another piece of paper. Okay, I'm going to skip the trucks because I'm not sure what to do with them. Let's do the plaid. We're going to get the plaid out. We're going to go through Natasha's kit one more time. I have a ton of these to make, so, I mean, a ton of pieces of scrapbook paper to go through. So 2 of each would not be a bad idea. So I'm going to take the plaid and we're going to do it again. So let's run through hers. I won't tell you what her previous pieces were. We're just going to go through and do our cuts and make our pieces. So we have that and we have this. Now on this one, we did a pocket tag. For this one, what I think I'm going to do is I'm actually going to fold it and make a little notebook for my journal. This can go into a pocket, right? Like this. And I'm going to round the corners. So lots of options with our 8.5 piece. All right. So for this one, now if you wanted to make it a card pocket, maybe you round all 4 corners and glue it like we did the tag, and then you've got a journal card pocket. I'm going to leave mine as a notebook. Okay, so we got a notebook there. On the last one, this was the piece we made a tag. I'm going to round these corners and make it a card. I don't know why it does that. Every once in a while, it doesn't clip that round. It clips it with a... I don't know if it's because I'm not positioning it in there right. I'm wondering if I'm like pulling out on it. Like I'm sticking it in there and starting to pull out on it as I'm pushing down on the thing. I'm being too quick. Okay, so for this one, we made a card. All right, now here we're going to cut at the 9.5. Now on this one, we are going to make this a tall tag since we made it a tall card on the last one. And I'm going to, in the spirit of the short stubby corner thing that we did on the wide one, I'm going to make these smaller. Okay, and there we have a tall tag. Oh, and I usually take the bottoms of my tags, and I use my little corner round. Okay, so there we have a tall tag. Now, what I said before was what Natasha does with this. I know I wasn't gonna. Natasha folds this and makes an ephemera pouch. What we're gonna do is we're gonna fold it and make a pocket that you can either glue in, or you can stick it in a. You can have a pocket in a pocket. You could clip it in, however you want to do it. Okay, let me burnish this. And what I'm going to do is, what she does is she cuts a V. I'm going to get my big, it won't fit in my punch drawer, guys. It's too tall. The drawers are too shallow, and this sits too high, so it won't fit in my punch drawer. I'm going to cut a big old notch out of here. So we're going to go down and we're going to cut like a nice big deep notch on this. Like that. Yeah. And like I said, this is not double-sided paper. You can do this with any kind of kit. You just decide what you want to line the inside of your papers with, or if you don't mind the white. I mean, there is white in this kit, so if you don't mind the white and you're willing to include it in your kit, then it's not a big deal. Okay, so we're going to make this a pocket. So we have a fold down one side. So we just have to glue 2 sides. So this was the 2 ways to use, and I'm sure you could come up with several ways of your own to use this particular template. But this template, the cuts are from, like I said, Natasha over at Treasure Books. I will link her video for this little kit that she makes so you can go over and see what she actually uses the shapes for. I really need to go glue page. Really need to get a glue page out. I really need to stop being tongue-tied when I'm trying to film a video. That's what I really need. Okay. Okay. So that. And I got a little bit of white right here where it didn't line up exactly. So I'm going to clip that off. There we go. Okay, so both of these were this set. So you cut it at 5.5. You have an 8.5 by 5.5 card and a 3.5 by 5.5 card. You have a 6.5 by 9.5 card, and you have a 2.5 by 6.5 tag. So in this case, we made a little notebook cover, a journaling card, a tall tag, and a pocket. Okay. And in the other one, we made a tag, which I didn't clip my ends on. So I'm going to do that. A tag pocket, a tall card, and a fold-out journaling spot, or whatever you want to fill that with. So I could now take this and put little pockets in it, you know, however I want to fill that. Okay, so that's some things made from this cutting template. Now we're making a kit. So I'm going to choose another piece of paper from the same pad, and we're going to do E's 12 by 12 suggestions. I modified her measurements slightly. I want to do something that is not necessarily directional. Okay, now for E's kit, we're going to start. We got our 12 by 12 paper. We're going to start with a 3-inch cut here. So I'm going to come 3 inches in from this side, and I'm going to cut it off. All right, so we've got that. The next thing she does, and this is where I did a modification, is she does on this side, she does 2 3/8. I'm going to do 2 1/4. Okay, so you can do the 3/8. I'm doing 2 1/4 because it's easy, for the video. I don't have to do a lot of extra measuring because there are quarter marks on my mat. And I'm only 1/8 of an inch off of what she did in either direction. So I'm making this strip 1/8 of an inch smaller than she did, and I'm making the cards in the center 1/8 of an inch larger than she did. Okay. If I don't cut them, which I think I just did. That was wrong. Yeah, I did. Okay, so now we have another strip. I have a wonky card. Okay, now we're going to cut. You can do this in any order because all of these are 6 3/4 wide. I'm just going to go ahead and do it the way she did it. Okay, so we're going to come down and we're going to cut 3 pieces out of this. So we're going to cut at 4.5. 1, 2, 3, 4.5. Okay, so that's 6 by 4.5. We're going to cut at, and then we're going to cut at 1.5. So that's going to go to this inch mark. Like that. Okay. And then we have this, which is 6 by 6 3/4. All right, I'm going to set my ruler and my cutter off to the side, and we're going to go through these pieces. The first piece we're doing is the 6 3/4 by 4.5. Now, because I cut mine, I am going to trim that. Okay, there we go. I think we're good. All right, so this piece is to make a gusseted pocket. So we're going to get our scoreboard out. And we're going to score it a 1/2 inch in all the way around. So 1/2 inch here. Oops. I'm going to turn it the other way because it doesn't come out to... It's easier than counting. And then you pick a bottom. So if your paper is directional, as you can tell, this is a gusseted pocket. So if your paper is directional, make sure you decide what you want your bottom to be before you do your bottom score. So you're going to score 3 sides at 1/2 inch, and you're going to cut here and get rid of these corners. And you're going to cut here and get rid of these corners. Okay. You hear that coughing in the background? My son is down here. He's not feeling well. Okay, so we're going to fold them back and burnish them. And I'm going to put a little dot of glue. We're just going to go ahead and glue this because that makes it ready to use. Okay. Okay, now I do not want a 3-inch notch in this one. I do need to make sure that ends up back in my scoreboard or I'll not have it when I need it. Okay, so back to my 1.5 inch circle punch, and we're going to cut a notch in there, and there you have it. Okay, so we have a pocket. That's the first piece off of this particular thing. The second thing we do is we take the strip out of the middle, and you can do one of two things with this. Well, you can do a couple things with this. You could, depending on how wide your journal is. Now, remember, this is 6 3/4 wide. So if you wanted to make it a horizontal belly band, most likely based on the fact that most of our journals are 6 by 9, you're going to have to trim this or fold it around your page or whatever you want to do. The other thought would be to put it down the side of the page and make it a side tuck. So you would glue here and here, decorate it up a little bit, and then you could just tuck stuff in it. Or you could glue all 3 sides and make it a little pocket tuck. And then, you know, you'd have your little tuck, and maybe this could tuck in there like that, right? So this is a side tuck. All right. Next we have... again, this one is E made hers a tall booklet. Okay, so she folded it in half and made it a tall booklet. We've made a booklet and we've made a tag pocket. What we are now going to do is make a card pocket. Okay, so this one will be like a journaling card, but it'll be a pocket. So let's clip all our corners and then we can do the gluing. The other thing, of course, that you could do is cut this in half. I mean, you could cut that down the middle and make 2 cards or 2 tags out of it. I mean, that's always an option, right? So we're going to do that. Now we're going to open this up. I need to fill my glue bottles, guys. We're getting low again. We're going to open this up. We're going to glue it together, and then we'll get a pocket. of these, of course, are open to, I mean, once you cut the pieces, you know, you get the basic idea for, you know, the size of pieces you can get out of a 12 by 12 piece of paper using like every bit of it. And then once you see the pieces, whatever you decide you want to make out of those pieces is, of course, up to you. These are just suggestions. And they're not even my suggestions. They're E's suggestions. Although I did modify this one. She made a booklet out of it. I'm making a pocket out of it. Okay, so we have that. And then for the two long strips, we're going to do the same thing with both of them. We're going to fold them in half. This one, E made into a tag tuck. Let's do the cuts and the gluing, and then we'll talk about it. So you're going to take it, you fold it in half, right? We're going to clip it. I do like the tag shape on a lot of things, so you know, it doesn't bother me to have multiple things in the tag shape. Of course, you could just round the corners and make this a tuck pocket without a tag shape. I mean, again, your journal, your choice. So we're going to glue down this back side, and we're going to glue across the bottom. E also had a really cute butterfly punch, so she punched a window. If I had like an apple punch or something, considering the theme of this, I would use it, but I don't. You know what I did have? A leaf punch. Should have used the leaf punch. I didn't think about it. Okay, so basically what you have then is you have a pocket in the side of this, like that. And then if you wanted to, what I thought she was talking about, and maybe she wasn't, maybe the tuck, this little pocket was all she was talking about. What I thought she was talking about was you take this and you glue it to your page here and here, and then you have a tag shaped tuck on your page, which I think is really cute. So to me, that's a tag tuck with a pocket in it. So we have that. Now for our last piece, again, very cute. And again, depending on what shape you want to make it, we're going to fold it in half. And she called this a flip top tag. I don't know if that's what it's actually called, but that's what we're going to call it. Okay, sorry about that. So this is going to be a flip top tag. Or since we made this tuck tag shape, like I said, I like tag shapes, so it doesn't bother me to have the tag shapes. And you're going to scatter this stuff through your journal, so it's not really that big of a deal. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the tag corners off of here. And then depending on whether or not you're allowing the white, the bright white to be there, or you're just gonna, you know, scuff it up with ink, or what you're gonna do, you could glue some coffee dyed paper in here and make it journaling space, or, you know, something, cover it with tissue paper, whatever you want to do to cover that. And you use this as journaling space, and then this just basically, you can hang it over, a page like that. Or you can slip it down into a top load pocket. If you have a top load pocket, you could slip part of it down into the pocket and let part of it hang out. You know, so there's a couple of ideas for how to use it. So that is E's. I will also link her video so that you can go over and see. She decorates hers, but since I'm trying to move through a kit, I'm not going to decorate right this minute. Okay, so that is E's 12 by 12. Okay, so I'm going to set that off to the side. Now, I modified again, as if I need to be modifying anything. I modified, sorry, I'm just trying to get some of this excess mess out of the way. E has a 6 by 6. You saw it when I did the product review for Bled's paper. I cut one of the 6x6 squares. That was E's 6x6 template using a 6x6 thing. I am now going to take that same 6x6 template and I'm going to use her 6x6 template and her hidden tag flip out. So 2 of Eve's videos. There's going to be a bunch of Eve's videos linked in the bottom down here. So the first thing we're going to do is choose a piece of paper and cut it into these pieces. So let me go back to our pad. And as I was saying before, there were a couple of inspirations for me doing a journal kit out of an entire pad. The other place I got inspiration for this from, besides, Pink Odd Bird putting those signatures together, was actually Tina over at Shabby Dabby Doo Dah. She's done several videos where one of them is the thing where she uses an entire 12x12 paper pad. And we did that earlier in the series. We did the accordions that she made. And then the other thing that she did was she takes one sheet of 12x12 paper and makes a small journal kit out of it, out of one piece of paper. And I said, well, why don't you take a pad and make an entire journal kit out of it? And then I went hunting for good ephemera templates. And here we are. Maybe we'll do the buckets. The buckets and the apples at the beginning that we've already used are the 2 pieces of paper out of this pad that I've used. Everything else was intact. So when I was talking about the fact that you use 1 or 2 pieces of paper out of something and then the pad just sits, yeah, that's this pad. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut off of the bottom a 4-inch strip. I'm not going to try and relate this back to the 6x6. I will link the 6x6 video in the description box below so you can go watch it and see how the 6x6 is done. I kind of gauged it and did my best to adjust it for the size. And because of adjusting it for the size, some things were taken out completely and some things were just modified because of how big they were. So we're cutting a 4-inch strip off the bottom. Okay, and as you can see, my paper is directional. I'm going to set this off to the side. I'm not ready to make my piece out of it yet. All right, then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go... I confused myself there for a second because I wrote some numbers weird. We're going to go like this. I'm going to cut it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.5. I'm going to cut it at 6.5. And then I'll show you what we're going to do with this. I know I said I wasn't going to refer back, but in the 6x6, this piece got turned into a little tag, but it was only 3x4. So yeah, little tag. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take this piece. This piece is 5.5 inches wide. You're going to take this piece and you're going to turn it sideways, and you're going to cut 2.5 inches off of one end. That way we end up with, this is 8 inches long. If I cut off 2.5 inches, I then get a 5.5 by 5.5 inch square. 2.5 right here. And on the 6x6, I know, not referring to the 6x6. This was a book plate. We are going to make it a pocket. Okay, so working, this is going to be a shallow pocket instead of a book plate. So we have a pocket. Again, because this is directional paper, all of these things can stay right side up with the exception of this particular piece that I'm about to do now. But technically you could keep it right side up if you tried really hard. I am going to cut this. You're going to turn it on a diagonal. You could also tear this. If you like the look of torn page corners, you could tear this. I'm going to cut mine for this particular instance. So So we're going from corner to corner, and we've got 2 page corners. Now, like I said, you could do it like this. So if you've got a spread in your journal, you could do a top tuck on one page and a bottom tuck on the other, and your apple buckets stay right side up. Okay? So if I wanted to do it like that on a spread. So if this was the middle of my journal. Okay? So I've got 2 corner tucks, a pocket. This piece, because it is so big in this, when I increase this to 12 by 12 from a 6 by 6 sheet, because this is so big, I'm going to cut it in half. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3 1/4. Okay, which is a good tag width. 3 1/4 makes a good tag width. Now, you've got options here too. You can either leave these as long tags, tall. These are 8 inches tall. Or if you wanted to have a 3 by 6 tag, you could fold the bottom up my little round punch is missing. So on the back side of this tag, what we're going to do is we're going to glue this down. I'm going to notch it. I don't have my little notch, so it's just going to have to be this. Now, your pocket, this is the one place where your apples will be upside down. So your other option, of course, would be to cut it off and turn it around, if it bugs you that much. So see, my apples are going to be upside down. And I've already notched this one, so it's kind of hard for me to cut it off and do it. And then you cut your tag spots. And you've got 2 pocket tags. A little bit different kind of a pocket tag. Okay? So that's a really good tag size, I think. And then when you flip it over, you can write and you can tuck something in it. Right? Okay, so you've got one of those. And you've got 2 of these. So I'm going to go ahead and fold this one. The other option, of course, is to just cover the pocket with something. I mean, if you don't like, if it's really that big of a deal. And that's probably what I will end up doing, is covering the pocket with something. So I'm going to notch it, which is the other reason why I'm not gluing it right now. I'm going to go ahead and notch it to remind myself there's a pocket there. And let's see, what do we want to do with this one? It doesn't have to be a tag. It can also be a card. So you can right? And then you go on the back and you've got a little pocket back here. All right, so we've got 2 of those. That's the modification for the fact that that tag would have been huge. You can make it a big giant card if you want. Okay, now this is going to be Ease Hidden Tag Flip Out. So this is going to take some folding. So what we're going to do is we're going to fold it in this direction 2 inches. This side would have had a piece cut off of it in the 6 by 6 template. We're not going to cut it off. We're going to fold it over. So this goes over 2 inches. Like that. And it's going to make a tuck. Where is my... Right there. Right there in front of my face. It's going to make a tuck. Okay? I'm going to notch it. And there's a tuck. Now we're going to take this and we're going to fold it I want it to go 3 1/2 inches, so it's going to go to here, thereabouts. If you wanted to do it just shy of where your mark is so that you don't interfere with your other fold, that might not be a bad idea either. Okay. And then in the other direction, we're going to fold it 3 inches. E doesn't make it this complicated. So I will also link this hidden tag template video in my description box as well. Goodness gracious. Okay. Sorry, I was having trouble getting that one to sit straight. It was not wanting to be cooperative. Okay, so this is your little book. Now mine flips out this way, and then right here, what we do is I'm going to do the little one, the littler one. This is actually my mid one. Okay, so I'm going to do a little tag cut here, and then a little tag cut here. Actually, no, I don't want to do the whole thing. I want to do it like this. We're going to cut I'm going to get a pencil. Do I have one down here? I do. I'm knocking things all over the place. I need to know how far down to cut it. Okay, so we're going to cut it off right there and right there. And there you have your little hidden tag. Okay? And depending on how you want to do your booklet, I'm actually going to round the corners here. Nope. And here with my little rounder. Okay, I'm going to round this with my little rounder because I always do the bottoms of my tags. And then I'm going to round the bottom of this pocket and the top of this pocket. And this is all personal preference, obviously. That's not part of the thing. So let's glue our tuck down. I always go just to the bottom of the curve when I'm gluing a curved cornered pocket. So I don't know if that makes a difference or does anything or is bad or good or. Again, I'm going to go along there because I had it open. Okay. So when you open this little booklet up, you open it up and it's got a little tag. That's what she calls it, a hidden tag flip out. So you flip out this little tag and you've got this here. On hers, she put a belly band here. So if you end up with some scraps for something, you could put a belly band on there. Okay, or you could attach a little piece of journaling paper, however you want to decorate it. But that is the hidden tag flip out. Okay, so the tag gets hidden, so it goes inside. All right, so there's our little booklet. So that's that kit modifying the 6x6 cuts for E's templates. So, now I still have plenty of paper in here to make pieces out of, and I can go through and get out pages to do any one of these templates, or I can get out, like I have 2 of these left. So I could do the one I just did and then Natasha's. And then I can go, and I can also make these plain ones into tags. And I've got the apple pie ones here to do yet. And I don't know if I could make this into stuff or not. But, I mean, we could sure give it a shot. Actually, you know what it might be good for? let's look at our 3. As you can see, I'm not doing any decorating in this one. You know me, guys. I'm like, decorating is a little rough. But the idea behind this was to show you all the templates and give you the idea that you can take a paper pad and make a journaling kit out of it. Okay, so the one that we just did, I get a 4-inch strip, which will let me keep this branch down here. Or a 3-inch strip, which will only cut part of it off. We're going to make a compromise here. 3 1/4. We said that was a good tag width, right? Now we're going to play with a piece of paper and we're going to combine ideas from the different templates. So I'm going to take this piece off of here, like so, and I'm going to fold it to be an to be a flip up tag, right? And this, you can journal on that, or you can decorate it, either way. So we're going to do that as a flip up, and maybe we'll make this one a flip up card since we already made a flip up tag. The thing about this is, if I go and I clip these corners and I say, okay, I don't want that to be a card. I want it to be a tag. I can still take those. I can still take those off of there. So, all right. So we got that out of there. Now on the other side, I'm thinking, let's see what happens if we make one of E's hidden tag tucks, right? Except instead of making it 4 inches tall, we make it 5 inches tall. One, two, three, four, 5. Let's make it 5 inches tall. Okay, now the only thing we have to decide is what we want to do with this. And honestly, 3 3/4. We'll see. I'm gonna think on it. In the meantime, we're gonna do our folds on this one. So we're doing 2 inches, right? Two inches would put me right there. Okay. And then, what did we say these were? 3 1/2, right? Maybe I'll do the 3. And then this just folds over. Okay, and what's really cool about this is our little apple branch runs all the way through our little booklet, right? That's really cute. Okay, now we do our tag. This is the tag. And I'm going to do small again. Should I do the tall? Let's do the tall since we... made the tag a little taller. We'll make the little corners taller. Okay, and then we're going to pull it out and we're going to do what we did before. I'm going to line this up and I'm going to mark it. And I want to say, however E folded hers, and you guys can look when you go see it, I think she started off doing this and then she ended up cutting her corner off for some reason. I don't remember why. Mine doesn't show the way I folded it, so maybe that's because my tag is at this end. Her tag maybe was at the other end. So this piece was on the top. I don't know. I don't remember. Can you tell I don't remember? Okay. I keep trying to grab that. That's not what I want. Where's my little... Tell you what, guys. Alright, now. Okay, now for this one, I think I'm going to ink. I didn't ink this one, and I'm kind of upset about it. I don't know if I could now ink that pocket or not. It's the other thing about attaching my pockets before I do all my thinking, is this stuff doesn't get done. So we're going to ink this. I'm usually only worried about the edges that are getting glued down, because the rest of it can be inked. The rest of it can be inked after it's together. So let's glue this. Oh, wait. Also, clip my corners. That's the other reason I don't always ink before on the edges there. I got a bit of dried glue on the end. Okay. All right. Now, I clipped these corners before, so we're going to clip them like, well, there we go. We're going to clip them again. Clip this one. Nope. Clip this one. Okay. And we did it again. So we have a little tag fold out. Okay, so there's another one of the hidden tag flip outs. And we just have to figure out what to do with these. The easiest thing to do would be to cut it in half, make 2 tags out of it, or 2 cards out of it. The other idea would be to cut it so that one of these, I'm actually going to make a pocket and a card. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 and a half will cut right here. Rotary cutter. And I'm going to notch this. This is a decent sized pocket, so I'm going to notch it with a decent sized notch. Okay, so we got a nice big pocket there. All right, and then for this one, this will be a card that needs decorating because it's all pink. But the nice thing about it is we got plenty to decorate with because I got a whole pad in there. Okay, or this could be the back of a card. So if I make another card this size, I can use this as, I can put 2 cards together, and this can be the journaling space because that is definitely something you could write on. Okay, so that's how we might use some of the decorative paper. The solid colors, again, you could also do pieces with. One of my thoughts was I saw a couple people, actually most recently, one of the videos I watched, Melina actually took a page out of a pad like this. I'm going to use the apple pie because we haven't done that one yet, right? Okay. Let me pull this out. So basically she just cut 3-inch strips. So she got, and I don't think I'm going to cut the whole page. So we're going to go over to the 6-inch mark and we'll get 4 tags here. Okay, so that's 1. And this is 2. Okay, and then I'll figure out what to do with that. Not necessarily on this video, but you can get the idea of what I'm talking about when I say take a paper pad and make a journal kit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so if I take 2 of these, they are directional, and I get a piece of do I want the brown or do I want, I think we'll do the green. Okay. This is going to be delving into the realm of sort of decorating. I'm only going to cut 1 strip off of here, guys, so I can get to the point. So I'm going to take these and again I will decide what to do with that at a later date. Probably after I let you go, I will figure out what to do with those so that they can be put into the ephemera kit with the rest of the stuff. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. Okay, now my thought here is to make some sort of tear, right? And then you take this piece and you put it on here. Like that. Here is my glue. Not as a pocket or anything, just as the start of decorating this tag or card or whatever you decide to make it. Okay, so that's 1. You take the other one. As you can see, 1 strip will decorate 4 tags. I'm going to pull some of this white off of here. I don't want that. And maybe we put this one at the top. Oh, I stood it up again, guys. All right, well, while I'm doing that, I need to cut this other one in half so that we can use the others, because I'm going to go ahead and make 4 of these. And the other piece, maybe we tear long ways this way. Okay, that's not so bad. Okay. All right, back to gluing. So this one will go at the top. Okay, so there we go. There's that one. And of course, I haven't done anything to them yet, so if I want to go that way and this way and Well, actually, this is directional paper, so you'll turn your pies upside down if you do that. Don't do that. Okay. And then for these ones, they're going to go down the sides. Now, of course, after you've made these, you can stitch them. You can... I don't really have... I'm going to admit that I picked a pad. I love the pad. I mean, it's going to be a ton of fun in the fall and all that. So it's going to make a really cool journal kit. I don't have a problem with the kit. I do not, however, have a lot of apple embellishments at the moment, which is the other reason I'm not decorating the kit as I go. I don't really have a lot to decorate it with. So I'm getting bases done. This will be a whole kit, and all I'll have to do is decorate the ephemera pieces and the pages and, you know, put the book together. A lot of the work will be done, if that makes sense. If that's not going to move all the way to the edge, I'll just have to trim it. So there's another one. And then what did I do with the last piece? And then this one we did down that side, so we're going to do this one down this side. And for some reason, this green piece is longer than this apple piece. So somewhere I didn't cut properly, or measure exactly right, or whatever. So let me take my sticky scissors and cut that bottom off. Oh. Just like that. Okay, guys, I think I'm going to call it there. And I hope this gave you some insight into something you could do to start busting up those 12 by 12 pads. So I lost my pen again. So I do have these pieces to use, and I will use them. I'm going to measure them. I'm going to look at my template. I'm going to get some ideas. I'm going to see this one is 6 inches wide, and this one I believe is 8 inches wide. Maybe not. Maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is 9 inches wide. So I'll look at those and see what I can do with them. And in the meantime, we have these, which you can turn into either tags or cards. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces of ephemera. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. And this one we did twice. 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27 pieces of ephemera, and 15 pages so far. And this, guys, will make a pretty decent journal kit. I feel like you could throw all of this together. 27 pieces of ephemera and 15 pages, you know, get a few more things to add to it, and you are well on your way to a great journal. So I hope this has inspired you to take your pads that you can't figure out what to do with, and if there's one you especially like, if there's one that's got a ton of beautiful pages in it that you think would be a book all on its own, make it one. I hope, again, like I said, I hope that this has inspired you. I will link the description boxes below. This template was from Treasure Books, and the other 2 templates were from Miss E over at Scrapbooking with Me. So I will definitely link all of the videos that I got these ideas from. I will link Tina's videos as well, because I think you should go check out her 12 by 12 paper use things and her kit making ideas. And I will link Pink Oddbird, because I think the way she put just grabbed a bunch of stuff and threw some signatures together to have ready to create a journal is a great idea. So there's going to be lots of links in my description box this time around, guys. So give this a shot, and I will talk to you in the next one. Bye-bye.